What's dudes? Hello and welcome to the very first installment of Storytime with JMetropolis. I gotta do something about this exhaust. It is way too quiet. So as I said, this is Storytime with JMetropolis, and I've got a doozy for you today. First installment of Storytime with JMetropolis, so you know I gotta come out swinging with some good shit. No, sir. No. You gotta watch these motherfuckers out here, man. They are crazy. He was about to do it. I saw it in his fucking eyeballs. So today's installation of Storytime with JMetropolis is going to be about that time I almost died on a boat in a storm.
You what?
This happened last summer, actually. It was pretty recent, so it's not something that you guys would have ever heard about before. So our story begins with my retired father wanting to buy a yacht and live out his golden years on the water. So at the time that this story is going to be told, I was living with my dad. I am not anymore. But that's neither here nor there. That's a whole different story time with JMetropolis on how that came about. Nonetheless, my dad really had always wanted a yacht. He did own boats back in his heyday. He has minimal experience with boats above 20 feet. So the yacht that we went to go get, it was already kind of signed, sealed, and delivered. Like, it was not really a sight unseen. I'm pretty sure he went up to look at it beforehand, but nonetheless, we went up to Maryland from Virginia to go and look at this boat. So we get up there, we meet with the broker. My dad signs all the paperwork. We're good to go. And we had decided that we were basically going to sail it back down to where he was keeping it, which is in Virginia. So essentially what happened is we loaded up all of our shit onto the boat before departing. And as soon as we did depart, my dad hit the dock like 3 or 4 separate times and then like drifted into another dude's fucking sailboat.
Fuck! Oh, fuck! Alright, somebody needs to get this fucking idiot off the boat.
It was at that moment that I realized, hey, this may not have been a good idea. Maybe we should have just hired somebody to bring the boat down. And my dad, being the prideful man that he is, said, oh no, son, we're going to sail this down and it's going to be a bonding experience. It was a bonding experience, I'll give you that. But it was a bonding experience that made us hate each other more than it made us love each other anymore. So we're cruising down this river after having to give Mr. Sailboat Man our information because we fucked his shit up and now my dad is going to have to pay for it. We're just vibing, you know. At this point, we're out in the middle of the river. There's no more obstacles to hit, so everything ended up being semi-alright for a while. That was until we had to go get gas. Now, I don't know if anybody is in the sort of maritime community that watches my videos, but you'll know that filling a boat up with gas is not at all like filling a car up with gas. Usually you would drive your little shit wagon into the gas station, fill up with 89 or 87 octane or some bullshit, and then you would just go on your merry fucking way. Boats are different. Usually there's either a floating fuel station or one that is attached to a dock. So you actually do kind of have to park your boat to the side of this dock. And for somebody like my dad who just hit like 18 fucking things trying to come out of a dock, this was a pretty daunting experience. We try to dock at this fuel station like a good amount of times. We're just kind of trying to get it right. And my dad is basically not doing very well. He's either coming in way too sharp or not close enough for me to get the fucking line around the dock and tie us off, and it's just a whole mess. Finally, we get in close enough, and my dad just says, you know what, fuck it, like, it's getting dark, we can't travel anyway, we're gonna have to stay here for the night, we're gonna have to get docked up somehow. He basically runs into the dock. He basically just fucking runs into the dock, and I get the line and throw it to these two ladies that are standing, you know, on the dock. And I'm just like, hey, I don't know you, catch this, please, we're having a hard time. So they catch the line and help tie us off and shit, and there's scratches on the boat, and shit's just not going our way at all. And of course, on top of that, the fuel station is closed for the evening, so we literally had no choice except to stay there. Now, mind you, this was at the end of day one. This was supposed to be a one-day trip.
A 3-hour tour.
It was not. So I'm a bit traumatized by the day's events. So I just kind of sit out on the deck, have a beer, chill out, and eventually I go into my cabin to sleep. It was not great sleep. Next stop of our journey is supposed to be where we're going, to the dock or the slip, whatever you want to call it. My dad had paid for to store his boat at, which is in Virginia, in an undisclosed location. We get the gas, we pump it, everything's fine, and we start heading off of the dock once more to shit, what the fuck is, what is everybody doing over here? What's going on? So anyway, we go ahead and get gas, and what the fuck are you doing? I don't understand what he was honking at, or why he was honking. We're having a little bit of an easier time going up to where we're headed, so it worked out pretty well. What didn't work out pretty well, however, though, was trying to go under this drawbridge, which was like basically right next to where we got gas at. There was this big ass drawbridge. You had to radio the man in the bridge and be like, hey, we need to come through. And then he'd be like, all right, what's the name of your boat? And then you would tell him, and then he would be like, all right, I'm gonna raise this bitch up and y'all just come on right through. So we had to turn around like 5-6 different times because, again, my dad does not know what he's doing. So we finally get under this drawbridge after having to turn around like 3 or 4 separate times and holding up traffic. Go through the sound, scrape the bottom a little bit, no big deal, it's fine.
Alright, Captain, we'll buff out those scratches.
This boat has seen better days by this point. By this point, we're actually out like in the middle of the Chesapeake Bay, which, for those of you who don't know, it's a little body of water that separates the Virginia mainland from the Atlantic Ocean. So we're going straight through the middle of the bay, everything's going fine, but it is very fucking hot. So I'm just chugging down water and Gatorade and trying to stay hydrated, but eventually I just get so damn sweaty and fucking gross that I can't help myself. So I told my dad to stop the boat so I could take a little dip in the water and get myself feeling right again. And we cut off the engines, we decided to chill for a bit. We ended up taking a nap because we were just both so fucking tired, so we literally just anchored out there and just took a nap for a while. When we woke up and tried to start the boat again, the boat would not start. We were stuck, and we weren't really sure what was going on. I had to go down to the engine room and do some JMetropolis fixing things, and you know, after a while we did get the boat to start, but we ended up basically being stranded for about 3 hours in the bay. And what really was the issue with that was that there was weather on the horizon. There was like a possible storm. We finally get the engine started, and I say engine because one of our engines still wouldn't start. So we were literally on one engine, and we just started moving. So we're just lugging through these waves, and they are starting to get higher. It's dark at this point. You see lightning on the horizon. The rain starts to fall down, and shit just starts to go haywire really fast. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I already had a healthy fear of the sea before I started this journey, but now I'm fucking terrified of it. For those of you who have been caught in a storm on a boat, let me know in the comments. Tell me your experience. It's about 8 o'clock p.m. at this point. We didn't know it at this time, but we were about to roll into a 25-mile wide fucking windstorm. It was not fun, let me tell you. The waves basically got to a point where they were about 5 or 6 meters high on either side of the boat, and we started tipping at a very, very uncomfortable angle. You know those movies where the sailboats will kind of like get pushed by the wind in the storms, and like half of the boat on one side or the other is just like almost barely touching the water, like because the waves are just fucking knocking it around so much? That's pretty much what it was. Like, we were just getting absolutely fucked. You have to give old bitch Metropolis a break here, because I genuinely thought I was going to die right then and there on that boat. I thought we were going to capsize. We were either going to have to call the Coast Guard, or like I was going to fucking drown. Like, I'm a good swimmer, but I also don't like the idea of having to swim in like really deep water in a storm. What did happen though was that we were getting pummeled the entire night until about 6 in the morning. We were literally going so slow that it took us like fucking 10 hours to go the distance that we needed to go to get where we were at. So we ended up anchoring pretty close to where we were going in the first place. So we wake up the next morning and we go ahead and head into the dock where we're supposed to park this boat for the remainder of its life, basically. It dawned on me that my dad doesn't know how to park a boat. And this is not like the dock that we got the boat from. This is like a straight up fucking marina with like $1 million yachts in it. I really like did not want to have to be a part of that when he inevitably fucked it up. So we're anchored and we're just chilling. I decide I'm gonna lay down and take another nap because I just have not gotten any good sleep and I'm sick and tired of it and I'm ready to go home. By this point, it's like day 3 of being on this journey. I wake up to a giant bang. Like, it just rocked the entire boat. I didn't know what the fuck was going on, but I just snapped awake, put my clothes on, and just ran up the stairs as fast as I could. I was still very much half asleep, so I had to take a look around and adjust myself to the fact that we were not actually in the same place that we anchored. Our anchor came loose and we drifted into a fucking bridge. So I'm like, holy shit, like, how many times is this trip gonna get fucked up? Like, I'm so sick of this shit. So we have these guys like in these other boats who were, you know, parked close to us, who have their little dinghies and they're kind of coming over trying to help in any way that they can. That's one thing that is really nice about like the boating community, is like everybody's just kind of there to help you whenever you need it. Like, don't get me wrong, they are gonna give you shit for being a fucking idiot and like getting yourself into that situation in the first place, but they're not gonna leave you hanging, you know. They come and help. Hello, Mr. Copperino. And we wake up, dawn of day 4, and it's time to get the boat into the place. So by this point, I've just been completely fucking over it. And I start looking for advertisements online for captains for hire. And I'm just about to like pay somebody to like come and get us the fuck out of this situation, take the boat, and just go fucking park it like a normal human being knows how to park a boat. I did this behind my dad's back, basically. And then I brought it to him and I was like, hey, so I found like 3 people that are gonna be able to fucking help us out. And he, at this point, was just kind of like a defeated man, so he agreed to it. And I was like, damn, okay. Well, I was expecting more resistance, but I'm glad that I didn't get it. I ended up calling this guy named Scott. And this motherfucker basically just came in and just parked the boat like some kind of fucking boss. Fucking backed that son of a bitch right in there, just like putting a fucking cake in the oven or some shit. It was really interesting and crazy to watch. I'm gonna get some gas.
Hello, is it me you're looking for?
Rule number 1, when you're on a bike, always wave to the pretty ladies. You have to. You gotta show the ladies some love. Yeah, that's basically the time I almost died on a boat in the middle of a storm because my dad doesn't know what he's doing. So I truly hope that you enjoyed my story today about how JMetropolis almost lost his life on a raft, yacht, boat, flotation device. I'm gonna go inside, drink a couple brewskis, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!